Hi, this is an instructional video for how to play Blind Blake's That'll Never Happen No More. This is a great tune. It's fairly simple compared to a lot of Blind Blake stuff. I'm no expert on Blind Blake, but I've listened to it enough and learned enough. I think I can show you how to play this song pretty true to the original recording. The song is in the key of G. If you want to play along with the original recording, you're going to have to put a capo on the 3rd fret, and you're playing in G shape down here. And your chords, you got some chords you're going to use in the tune. The basic tune is pretty simple. It's just G, C, D, and you're also going to use A7, and you're going to use a long A shape, long A shape. If you haven't used this before, you got your A chord, which you just use with your first finger, barring what would be the 2nd fret from the capo, and then your pinky on what would be the 5th fret. It's an A note. It's a long A chord. Now the song itself, let me play the introduction for you, and we'll work on that first. The basic tune, you're making a G chord, and you're leading in with a little bass run on the 5th fret. Playing an alternating bass, just a standard alternating bass. Blake does some pretty fancy stuff with the bass. This tune seems to be very straightforward, the 6th and the 4th string. So when I lead in, that's what I'm playing with the G. Whoops. So see if you can get that sound. Notice that I pinch. A lot of Blind Blake's playing, he's pinching those 2 notes at the same time. If you can figure that out, that makes the alternating bass and melody thing a lot easier. Then when he goes to the D, so it's just G to D, G, just making a D shape, normal, D chord, and your alternating bass would be with the 5th string and the 4th string. So it's just G to D, one more time. Then you do it again. Again. And at this point he's going to go from a G to a G7th by taking his pinky off the 3rd fret of the 1st string and putting his 1st finger on the 1st fret. So I just go from a G to a G7th. What I'm doing is walking toward an E7th chord. And you hear this figure several times during the song. So let's do that again. And then the alternating bass, I'm just going to an E chord, so I'm hitting the 6th string and the 4th string. Then I'm going to a long A. And a good way to learn this stuff is just break down each chord and what he's doing with the bass and the treble. Just get that down and then put it all together. So the A, my bass is my 5th and my 4th, my open 5th and my 4th. Then I go to my D. So it's from the A7th. Then we go back into our main pattern. And then as he concludes the introduction, so instead of playing the long A, I'm just going to play an A7th. Then I'm going to go, instead of a D chord, I'm going to play a D7. It's that same old ragtime progression. So let me play the whole introduction for you to that point. That's the intro. Now he has a really cool turnaround that he plays several times throughout the song. This is one you hear in a lot of Blind Blake's playing. He uses this quite a bit. And the turnaround is using chords. And the way I think he does it, I have no idea. I just listened to the recordings. Is I think he uses that extra finger, his middle finger, along with his first finger, and he pinches. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's let me play the turnaround in context. That's a cool turnaround. He's playing like a chord thing. What I'm doing, the first part of it. Hold on, I gotta do it in context. So the first pinch has just got my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string and my pinky on the 1st string, 4th fret. So I just pinch those. Whatever fingers you want to use, middle finger, 1st finger, pick. I'm using finger picks here. I think Blind Blake played with finger picks. I just like picks better, get a little more sound. I have trouble playing with my fingers. And then he goes to a kind of a C shape, and then the pinky stays on that 3rd fret of the 1st string the whole time. So it's like this. And then, I don't even know what chord this is. What I've got is I've got my 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string. My 2nd finger is on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. My ring finger is on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. And then I pinch and keep that pinky on the 4th fret. And then I just go to a G to wrap it up. So the whole thing, let me play it in context. Turn around with the D chord. One more time. That's a really cool turnaround, and you'll see we're going to use those exact shapes here in just a little bit to play one of the neatest parts of the song. So let me play the whole introduction. This is That'll Never Happen No More by Blind Blake.